What is up, everyone, and welcome back to PS5 Nexus. The news cycle is absolutely on fire this week, and we've got a packed show for you, bringing you the most crucial updates you need to stay ahead of the game. Get ready, because we're diving deep into some massive stories that could shake up your gaming world. From industry titans weighing in on player accessibility to incredible new titles hitting consoles, you absolutely do not want to miss a single second of this. Let's get straight into it. First up, we're talking about a game that's already a phenomenon, but its future success might be surprisingly tied to something as fundamental as the price of your console. Could the cost of entry be holding back millions from experiencing a highly anticipated adventure? We've got the inside scoop from a major industry figure that might just explain everything. Then, get ready for a genre-bending experience that's already a certified hit on PC, and it's now blasting its way onto your PlayStation and Xbox consoles. This is not your average shooter. It's a unique blend of fast-paced action and strategic deck building that's been blowing players away. Find out if this innovative title is the next big thing for your multiplayer sessions. And if that wasn't enough, we've got some major news for fans of classic strategy RPGs. A beloved title, known for its intricate storytelling and deep gameplay, is making a grand return to modern platforms. We're talking about a release date, platform availability, and all the details you need to prepare for this epic comeback. Finally, we're taking a look at a different kind of console barrier, one that's impacting sales for a major title. The president of a renowned game developer is opening up about why a game's performance might be directly linked to the hardware it's played on. It's a fascinating look behind the scenes of the industry that you won't want to miss. Don't go anywhere, because this is PS5 Nexus, and we've got all the breaking news you need. Make sure you're subscribed, hit that notification bell, and let's jump into the details. The high cost of entry. Is the PS5 price hurting Monster Hunter Wilds? Capcom's president, Haruhiro Tsujimoto, has shed light on a significant challenge facing the highly anticipated Monster Hunter Wilds: the prohibitive cost of the PlayStation 5 console itself. While the game initially achieved a remarkable 10 million copies sold within its first month, subsequent sales figures have reportedly been less robust than anticipated. Tsujimoto, in a candid interview with Nikkei Gaming, revealed that Capcom had heavily factored in the PlayStation 5 as the primary platform for Monster Hunter Wilds when projecting initial sales. However, the reality of the total investment required for a PS5 experience has become a considerable hurdle for many potential players. The financial commitment extends far beyond the console's sticker price. Tsujimoto pointed out that when factoring in essential accessories, potential online subscription services like PlayStation Plus, and the game itself, the total outlay for a new PS5 owner can easily reach approximately 100,000 JPY, which translates to roughly $677 USD. This substantial investment, especially when coupled with Monster Hunter Wilds' own $70 USD price tag, presents a significant barrier. Tsujimoto noted that many gamers, particularly younger demographics, may not have the disposable income to justify such an expense. Consequently, these potential players might opt for older, more established titles in the Monster Hunter series, such as Monster Hunter World or Monster Hunter Rise, which are available at a fraction of the cost, often under $10 USD, rather than purchasing an entirely new console for a game that, in its current state, may offer less content or a less polished experience compared to its predecessors. Capcom's immediate challenge, as articulated by Tsujimoto, is to make Monster Hunter Wilds more accessible to a wider audience. To address this, the company has begun implementing strategic sales. The game started seeing discounts in June, offering players a 20% reduction in price, bundled with additional content from free title Update 2. Furthermore, Tsujimoto indicated that Capcom is actively developing a broader strategy to leverage future sales and promotional events throughout the year to stimulate sales momentum. This proactive approach aims to mitigate the impact of the high hardware costs and attract a larger player base. Adding another layer to this discussion, Tsujimoto also touched upon the burgeoning success of the Nintendo Switch 2. While he stopped short of making any formal announcements regarding Monster Hunter Wilds' potential availability on the platform, he acknowledged that the Switch 2's more accessible price point, compared to the PS5, has reinforced the importance of affordability in the current market. This observation is particularly relevant given that Monster Hunter Wilds has reportedly encountered performance issues on its existing platforms, suggesting that porting it to a less powerful, albeit cheaper, console could present significant technical challenges for the development team. The success of the Switch 2, he stated, reaffirms the high level of cost consciousness among ordinary consumers, a factor that Capcom must undoubtedly consider as it navigates the sales landscape for Monster Hunter Wilds. This situation highlights a critical juncture for the gaming industry, where the allure of cutting-edge technology must be balanced with the economic realities faced by a broad spectrum of players. Capcom's strategy to overcome these barriers will be closely watched as they aim to expand the reach of Monster Hunter Wilds beyond its initial dedicated fanbase. But what if the console price isn't the only hurdle developers are facing? Next, we're diving into a game that's already a massive hit on PC and is now making its explosive debut on consoles. Deck building meets bullet hell. Friends vs. Friends dominates consoles. The gaming landscape is constantly evolving, and sometimes the most innovative experiences emerge from the most unexpected blends of genres. Friends vs. Friends, a title that has already carved out a significant niche for itself in the PC space, is now making its highly anticipated arrival on both PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series XS. Developed by Brainwash Gang and published by Raw Fury, this game isn't just another shooter. It's a unique, fast-paced, and chaotic deck-building FPS that has garnered a dedicated following and a mostly positive review score on Steam since its initial launch in 2023. Now, a whole new audience on consoles can experience its vibrant and addictive multiplayer action. At its core, Friends vs. Friends challenges players to not only hone their aiming skills, but also to master the art of deck construction. The gameplay revolves around intense online combat, supporting a variety of modes including 1v1, 2v2, 3v3, and even chaotic free-for-all matches. What sets this title apart is its innovative card-based progression system. Players choose from a roster of stylish and eclectic characters, each possessing unique passive skills that can synergize with their custom-built decks. These decks are not merely supplementary, they are the primary engine of power. By collecting weapon, trap, and curse cards, players can strategically enhance their abilities, alter their gameplay, and directly impact their opponents. Imagine the tactical advantage of equipping a card that makes your opponent's head a larger target, or perhaps one that causes their bullets to ricochet, or simply arming yourself with a devastating new weapon drawn from your deck. The progression system is designed to keep players engaged and constantly evolving their strategies. As players compete in matched bouts and timed challenges, they gain experience, level up their profiles, acquire new cards, and crucially, upgrade their existing ones to increase their potency. Beyond gameplay enhancements, the game also offers a range of cosmetic unlocks, including character skins and card design variants, providing players with opportunities for personalization and bragging rights within the community. For those looking to experiment with new card combinations or refine their skills without the pressure of competitive play, the game also includes the option to practice against AI bots, ensuring that players can fully optimize their decks and strategies before heading into multiplayer arenas. The console launch is particularly noteworthy due to the game's accessible price point. Available for just £8.39, approximately $10.50 USD, Friends vs. Friends positions itself as an incredibly affordable entry into a unique and engaging multiplayer experience. This low barrier to entry not only makes it easier for individual players to jump in, but also encourages them to invite their friends to join the fray without significant financial commitment. The game's success on PC, marked by its strong community and positive reception, suggests that its innovative mechanics and addictive gameplay loop are highly appealing. Now, with its release on Xbox Series XS and PlayStation 5, Friends vs. Friends is poised to capture a new wave of players, offering a fresh and exciting alternative in the crowded multiplayer shooter genre. The developer has clearly struck a chord with its unique concept, proving that a blend of fast-paced shooting and strategic deck building can be a winning formula, especially when offered at such an attractive price. The question now is whether this indie darling can replicate its PC success on the broader console market. But while new titles are arriving, some classic franchises are getting a much-needed revival. Up next, we have major news for fans of strategy RPGs as a beloved classic prepares for its modern debut. Strategy RPG icon returns, Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles announced for modern consoles. Prepare yourselves, strategy RPG enthusiasts, because a titan of the genre is making a triumphant return to the forefront of gaming. Square Enix has officially announced the upcoming release of Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles, a comprehensive collection that brings the beloved classic to a new generation of platforms, including PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox Series XS, Nintendo Switch 2, and the original Nintendo Switch, as well as PC. The worldwide launch is set for September 30, marking a significant moment for fans eager to revisit or experience this iconic title for the first time. The narrative of Final Fantasy Tactics is set against the rich and complex backdrop of Ivalice, a kingdom once blessed by divine light and governed by the symbol of the two-headed lion. The story unfolds a year after the kingdom suffered a significant defeat in the 50 Years' War against Ordalia. With the king succumbing to illness and leaving behind a young heir only 2 years old, the throne's regency became a battleground for power. Two formidable candidates emerged: Duke Goltana, known as the Black Lion, and Duke Larg, the White Lion. Both had earned immense renown for their actions during the war, and their inevitable clash would plunge Ivalice into a devastating conflict known as the War of the Lions. It is within this tumultuous political and military landscape that the story of Ramza Bealv, the third son of a prominent military family, and his commoner companion Delita, who was raised amongst the nobility, begins. Their journey through this era of upheaval is fraught with peril as they navigate the currents of war and ambition, drawing them closer to an inevitable and dramatic conclusion. For those eager to see the gameplay in action, Square Enix has provided an official gameplay video, offering a glimpse into the intricate turn-based combat, strategic unit placement, and the depth of customization that defines the Final Fantasy Tactics experience. The announcement confirms a wide release with Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles slated to launch on September 30 for PS5, available in US, Europe, Japan, and Asia, PS4, specifically in Japan, Xbox Series XS in US and Europe, Nintendo Switch 2 in Japan, and the original Nintendo Switch in US, Europe, and Asia. For players in various regions, pre-orders are already available through platforms like PlayAsia, signaling strong anticipation for the title's arrival. This release is more than just a port. It represents a significant effort to preserve and reintroduce a cornerstone of the strategy RPG genre. The game's enduring legacy is built upon its challenging gameplay, mature storytelling, and the intricate political intrigue that unfolds throughout the War of the Lions. The availability across multiple platforms ensures that a broad audience can access this critically acclaimed title. The confirmation of its release on the upcoming Nintendo Switch 2 also hints at the broader ecosystem strategy for the new hardware, positioning it to receive significant legacy titles alongside new releases. Players are encouraged to secure their copies early, as availability is subject to change, and the chance to dive back into the world of Ivalice awaits. With the release date set and pre-orders open, the stage is set for the return of a beloved classic, promising hours of strategic depth, and compelling narrative for both veteran players and newcomers alike. But the gaming world isn't just about epic returns. It's also about understanding the real-world factors that influence game sales. Coming up, we're discussing how the price of the latest console might be a bigger barrier than anyone expected for a major new release. Console cost barrier. Capcom president cites PS5 price as unexpectedly large hurdle for Monster Hunter Wilds. In a candid assessment of the current gaming market, Capcom's president, Haruhiro Tsujimoto, has identified the high price of the PlayStation 5 as a significant and unexpectedly large barrier, impacting the sales trajectory of Monster Hunter Wilds. While the game achieved an impressive internal target of 10 million units sold within its first month of release, Tsujimoto acknowledges the challenges in sustaining this momentum, largely due to the substantial financial commitment required to enter the PS5 ecosystem. This perspective was shared in a recent interview with Nikkei, offering a critical insight into the economic factors influencing game adoption. Tsujimoto elaborated on the financial realities faced by consumers, particularly younger demographics, by breaking down the total cost of entry for a PS5. He noted that the console itself can cost around $80,000, approximately $540 USD. However, this initial investment is only the beginning. When factoring in the price of software, such as Monster Hunter Wilds at $70 USD, and the necessity of monthly subscriptions like PlayStation Plus for online play, the total expenditure can escalate to around $100,000, roughly $675 USD, at the point of purchase. This significant outlay, Tsujimoto emphasizes, is not easily affordable for many, especially considering the target audience often includes younger gamers who may not have a steady source of income. This affordability issue, he confirmed, is not confined to Japan but is a global concern. Capcom's strategic focus moving forward, therefore, is to actively work towards overcoming these hardware barriers to make Monster Hunter Wilds accessible to a broader player base. The company is planning to capitalize on future sales events and promotions throughout the year to stimulate demand and boost sales figures. This approach aims to mitigate the impact of the high initial console cost and encourage more players to engage with the game. The company has already begun this strategy, with sales and additional content updates being rolled out to incentivize purchases. Furthermore, Tsujimoto drew a parallel with the success of the Nintendo Switch 2, released in June 2025 with a price point of $49,980, approximately $340 USD. He observed that the Switch 2's strong performance and positive reception, despite varying prices across different countries, reaffirmed a crucial market insight. Affordability remains a paramount concern for ordinary consumers. This observation underscores the sensitivity of the market to price points and the significant role it plays in console and software adoption rates. While Tsujimoto did not explicitly hint at a potential port of Monster Hunter Wilds for the Switch 2, the success of the platform reinforces the idea that lower-cost hardware can unlock wider market potential. This is especially relevant given reports of performance issues with Monster Hunter Wilds on its current platforms, which could pose a challenge for any potential port to less powerful hardware. Capcom's recent financial reports have indeed indicated that sales for Monster Hunter Wilds have been somewhat soft in the period between April and June, with only 477,000 copies sold. While the company attempted to frame this positively by highlighting sales growth in other titles like Monster Hunter Rise and the Resident Evil series, Tsujimoto's comments provide a clearer picture of the underlying challenges. The high cost of next-generation hardware, particularly the PS5, is a significant factor that Capcom, and likely many other developers, must contend with as they strive to reach a wider audience in an increasingly price-sensitive market. It's clear that the cost of entry is a major talking point in the industry right now. But before we sign off, let's quickly recap the biggest stories of the day and make sure you're subscribed. And that's a wrap on another packed episode of PS5 Nexus. We covered the significant impact of PS5 pricing on Monster Hunter Wilds sales, the exciting console launch of the innovative deck-building FPS Friends vs. Friends, the much-anticipated return of Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles, and a deep dive into the barriers affecting game sales. If you found this information valuable, hit that like button, subscribe to PS5 Nexus for all your gaming news, ring that notification bell so you never miss an update, and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media channels for more exclusive content. We'll see you in the next one.